Time now for sports on SSPTV News.
Dave Seaman is here. Happy New Year, Dave. New Year's Day. As we kick off 2018, we'll take a look back at 2017. Really, it's a wonderful life if you're a local sports fan, Dave. Things started fast in 2017. When I was thinking about doing this segment, I said, we'll do a look back at everything. I don't think we have the time because so much happened. So I thought about maybe, hey, let's just talk about some of our favorite stories, Dave. I'll start with, sometimes when you cover a story or a basketball game and you do an interview after, you might be surprised at where it takes you. I got a whole feature story out of North Schuylkill's Avery Jordan last year at a girls' basketball game. Dave, she's a pleasure to interview, and just talking about her brother, Major Jordan, all-state football player, and how he was always so impressed with her that, she does a little bit of lifting, but she just has this natural toughness to her, and just hearing her talk about how she fights for every point in a game and how much you can really tell every single point means to her because she knows that's what it means to the team. That was a pretty cool story to cover. As you go back to 2017, Dave, what do you remember?
Well, I'm going to remember a lot of things. Like you said, you try to make that list, and it really does get pretty extensive because we had a lot of successful ventures by our athletes. I mean, I look at the Hazelton area softball team and playing for their fourth coach in 4 years, this senior group, and what'd they do? Well, they ended up winning, winning again the Wyoming Valley Conference and District 2, District 4. They get into the state playoffs. Not only they win one game, not only 2 games, not 3 games, but they get to the state final for the first time. That was exciting to follow their run because a lot of exciting games, and it was a great group of girls that, they were committed. They wanted to win a state championship. Didn't get there, a little disappointing at the end, but to follow that team all the way to a near state championship was really something I'll remember.
Dave, and maybe just speaking to how hard it is to win a state title, because we've seen a lot of great athletes in 2017, and I don't want to say the disappointments because it's great getting there and getting that silver medal, but we had a lot of close calls. You had Jimmy Hoffman taking second in wrestling. You had the Marion volleyball team coming in second in the state, the Hazelton area softball team you mentioned, and also at the district level, Dave, I think of the Hazelton area basketball team. They had such high hopes last season. They get the silver in the sub-regional and don't make the state playoffs. These were still great teams, great moments, great athletes. It's just there's a lot of other great athletes out there as well, and there's nothing to hang your head about. And I know we talked about it before, but just how impressive how these athletes handle themselves after this, talking with us, talking with the media, and then, of course, bouncing back. You look at Jimmy Hoffman at Lehigh University now.
Yeah, I mean, it's cornball, but you do learn a lot from losing. I mean, it's just the way these young kids, and they're youngsters, basically, they make our job, enlightening, really. I mean, how they handle it with such grace. You don't really have to, talk to the media. Yeah, it's nice, but professional athletes, they have a responsibility to do that. But young kids, then they're thrust into a situation they're not really familiar with, and to handle losing like they do, it's only going to bode well for the rest of their lives. And, it's a testament, like I said, to them and their families, their programs, and where they come from, where they're going, and it's been a thrill to cover them.
And Dave, I'll have to say, like you said, I learn from them all the time because we pre-recorded this. If Penn State lost the Fiesta Bowl, it's now January 1st. The game happened on the 30th. I guarantee I'm still not talking to anyone except for maybe my wife. Some feel-good stories from this year, Dave. I was just at Thanksmas recently with Joe Madden at the Hazelton One Community Center. When Joe's in town, there's usually a lot of people around him, and the media kind of hovers around. They want to get in their interviews, but you overhear his conversations with people, and it's so nice to hear. He always takes the time to talk with people. Him and his wife, Jay, always has a story about Hazelton, but that's a real heartwarming event, too. I mean, I saw the kids getting toys. It's a very special time of year when that happens. And what other stories, David, do you think back at 2017?
Well, I'm going to give you 2 of them. One of them is going back to the softball team. I did a story on Hope Kinney, the catcher from the softball team, 4-year starter, dynamite player throughout the years and everything like that. And her work with mentally challenged students. She comes to school with a smile on her face every day. She came to the field with a smile on her face every day, and that was infectious. I mean, it rubbed off on the kids that she dealt with, and all the people who she worked with in that program, spoke so highly of her. And to see Hope, on the softball field, just have that same energy and enthusiasm, and it's a heartwarming story. Another story I mentioned is somebody I'm real close to, and if I don't mention him, it's my own father. I'm fortunate enough to get inducted to the Hall of Fame this year, and I mentioned him a lot during the thing. But he actually went to a recent basketball game with me, and the ball rolled to him twice. And he was able to put the ball back and play without any problem. So I gave him 2 assists I neglected to mention that in my column. So when he hears this, he's going to be ecstatic to hear his name mentioned. But my father and my family, you know, they've been great. They've made a lot of sacrifices for me to get where I am.
Hazleton area tennis too. We both covered that team. They were a lot of fun.
Oh, that's another team too. I mean, you go through there, they're characters too. I mean, they were all into it, but like, you know, after win or lose, they were, and mostly win. I mean, and that they were all smiles. And I know I spent about 4 or 5 long afternoons at Kirby Park during October, and I cherished every minute of it because it's something I really don't get a chance to cover, and I got a chance to follow that tennis team this year, and I'm glad I did because they brought a lot of memories, and you know, it's something that it's going to stay with them, and it's going to stay with me too. I mean, it was a heck of a good story, and like I said, those feel-good stories are great when they happen, and you know, they last with you for a lifetime.
Here, Dave, let's close with the Hazleton area football team. But the Cougars this season seem so confident from day one, Dave, and what they were able to accomplish in bringing the program back after all this talk when Mike Brennan came that they were going to do this, getting to a district championship game, and now having 3 players be named All-State, and 2 of them are juniors.
Yeah, and that only bodes well for the future. I mean, because you know, we talk about the excitement, and we talked a few episodes ago about the process, the Philadelphia 76ers, and Mike Brennan believed in that process, you know, rebuilding the program and doing it his way. I'm excited about the Hazleton area basketball team too. They're, you know, in the throes of a great season right now, you know, ranked very highly in the state. You know, I wish more people get out to see them because these kind of teams don't come along very often, and they're right in our backyard because it's a thrill to cover them, and it'd be a thrill for all the, you know, the viewers to go out and get a chance to see the Cougars too.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to in 2018. Danny Burlitz back at Marion State champion. Swimmer, you have the Monomoy area girls basketball team, so a lot going on.
Yeah, and we can't forget about Tina Caparro won a state championship in cross country. I mean, you keep going up and down the list, and you know, you're going to find somebody like you forget to mention because. Again, what a year.
What a great year, and that's a good way to end this. Well, Dave, see you again soon. Thanks for your time.